In this video, I'm going to share 7 SEO predictions based on over a decade of experience in the SEO industry. My name is Nathan Gotch, CEO of Rankability and head SEO coach at Rankability Academy. So if you want to stay on the cutting edge of SEO and AI search, hit the like button and let's jump into prediction number 1, which is CTR will continue to decline. Back in the mid-2000s, multiple studies showed that roughly 90% of clicks went to page 1 results in Google. In other words, if you were on page 1, you were in the game. If you were not, you were invisible. But since then, that grip has been slipping. In 2007, Google launched Universal Search, which introduced many of the SERP features we see today, like the local pack, video results, and news blocks. Then in 2012, the knowledge graph started answering questions directly in the search results. And starting around 2014, featured snippets rolled out widely, putting even more answers above the classic list of 10 blue links. Every one of those changes chipped away at organic click-through rates. And by 2020, research based on similar web data showed that only a third of Google searches resulted in an organic click, and nearly 2/3 ended without any click at all. And more recent studies have shown that only 360 out of 1,000 searches send a click to a non-Google site, and zero-click searches are hovering in the 60 to 70% range, especially since AI overviews have launched. So CTR is heading in one direction, which is down. And my prediction is that for many query types, organic CTR on Google will effectively be in the single digits by 2026, especially where AI overviews and AI mode are active. Traditional SEO is not going away, but the share of traffic you get from classic blue links will keep shrinking. And now for prediction number 2, AI answers become the default entry point. Traditional search results still matter, and they're one of the primary sources of retrieval for AI platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. Those classic search indexes are critical because they improve accuracy and reduce hallucinations in AI answers. But the writing is on the wall. Google has introduced AI overviews, an AI-only AI mode view, and now Web Guide, which uses Gemini to organize web results into AI-generated sections. Google hasn't flipped AI mode as the default for everyone yet, but if you look at how often AI overviews, AI mode, and Web Guide appear, it is clear that the interface is shifting from a list of links to AI first experiences. And that means more and more search journeys will start inside an AI chat interface rather than a standard results page. So the days of opening 25 tabs to piece together an answer are quickly becoming a relic of the past for many query types. So if you're serious about this shift, you need a way to track where your brand shows up inside of AI answers, not just where you rank in Google. Rankability will soon have a built-in AI search visibility tracking so you can actually see which prompts, services, and citations you're winning. So now moving on to number 3, which is UGC continues to be a huge LLM feeder. So right now, anyone can pump out average copy with AI. Even Google is pushing AI-generated content with Gemini and its new Opal tools that helps brands create marketing assets at scale. That is exactly why the pendulum is swinging back towards unique content. We're already seeing it. Google's helpful content update and 2024 core updates hit a lot of generic low-value sites. And Google has even said that those updates reduced unhelpful content in search by about 40%. For years, Google has given extra weight to UGC-driven platforms like Reddit, Quora, and niche forums, and that trend is only accelerating. And recent studies of AI citations across tools like Google's AI overviews, AI mode, ChatGPT, and Perplexity show that Reddit, Wikipedia, and YouTube are among the most cited domains, and Reddit in particular accounting for a huge share of citations across these engines. One big reason is that UGC is unique and different from the kind of content large language models tend to generate. And large volumes of unedited, low-quality AI content are increasingly easy to detect, and search engines are now treating scaled content abuse as a form of spam, especially when it is created primarily to manipulate rankings. So how do you win going forward? Well, you double down on effort and experience-driven content. LLMs cannot actually experience anything yet, and that is your strategic advantage. So make your brand and your content more human, and do not worry about publishing huge amounts of volume. Publish less and make every piece count. And now for number 4, standard SEO best practices still matter. So when people say GEO or AEO is just SEO, there's actually some truth to that. A strong technical SEO foundation makes your site easier to crawl, index, and retrieve for AI systems. systems. And ranking well in traditional search also increases your chances of being used as a source in AI answers. And you can see this clearly at the local level. After studying thousands of local queries at Rankability, we found that Google's AI overviews in AI mode frequently pull information straight from Google business profiles for near me or best service in city type of queries. And the businesses that show up there tend to be the ones that are already strong in the local pack and maps. In other words, solid local SEO on Google improves your visibility in Google's AI products. But notice that I keep saying Google, and that's where just do SEO stops being 100% accurate. When you run a query like best plumber in Chicago inside a ChatGPT or Perplexity, you'll usually see a different mix of sources, reviews, directory listings, publisher roundups, Reddit threads, and so on. Google business profiles are not the primary retrieval source there. So doing well on Google does not automatically translate to visibility in ChatGPT or other AI assistants. So every AI platform has its own retrieval patterns and nuances, and the businesses that will win will be the ones that keep their SEO fundamentals tight, but also learn how to optimize across multiple search and AI platforms. Moving on to number 5, social platforms and YouTube dominate informational queries. So most businesses need to be very careful about creating blog content for purely informational queries. First, you're feeding the next LLM training cycle, and second, the effort to reward ratio is getting worse. Take an example. Let's say you rank for an informational query like how to build backlinks. Google can take your content, remix it with other sources, simplify it, and spit out an AI generated answer that sits above your page. And most people will not admit it, but the AI answer is good enough for the average user. And if you want to go deeper, Google conveniently lets them open AI mode and keep that conversation going. So what did you actually get in return for all of your time and effort you put in that blog post? Well, maybe a few accidental clicks. And for most informational keywords, it's just getting harder and harder to justify. So what is the alternative? For informational queries, I would shift more of that effort to platforms like YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, and even TikTok. Multiple studies of AI citations and Google's own experiments show that Reddit, Wikipedia, and YouTube appear again and again in AI answers and even in web guides group sections. And the wild part is this: if you have an established YouTube channel, it's often easier to rank a video than a blog post on your website for the same exact topic. And now for number 6 is that ChatGPT will add some levels of spam filtering. You've probably heard the phrase marketers ruin everything, and it's probably more accurate to say SEOs ruin everything. And right now, people are hammering AI platforms with spam and self-promotion. And I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to SEO tactics. And to me, it's mostly a question of risk tolerance. Back in my gray hat days, I got hit by Google one too many times to keep playing that game. But here's the truth. Black and gray hat SEOs often understand these systems more deeply than many so-called SEO experts. They're not just reading patents and repeating Google's talking points. They learn by taking action, running experiments, and pushing these platforms to their absolute limits. And the pressure is exactly why platforms like Google and ChatGPT will keep tightening their spam and quality filters. And if they don't adapt, the experience gets flooded with junk and the platform stops doing what it's supposed to do. So in 2026 and beyond, expect much stricter spam detection and filtering on AI platforms, especially ChatGPT and AI-powered search experiences. And now for SEO prediction number 7, search everywhere optimization becomes the default strategy. So I hate to say this, but anyone who still thinks of SEO as search engine optimization in the classic sense is living in the past. AI assistants like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity behave more like answer engines than traditional search engines. They blend model knowledge with retrieval from existing search indexes and licensed publisher content, and then synthesize these answers instead of just showing a list of static pages. They're also non-deterministic, so you can run the same query in 2 different chats at the same time and get completely different answers with a completely different set of citations. They simply do not behave like classic search engines. And that's why search everywhere optimization is a more accurate way to think about SEO today. SEO is now a multi-channel discipline, and Google is still the king, but even inside of Google, there's a lot of fragmentation. So if you want to succeed, you need to understand the unique ranking variables for traditional search results, the local pack, AI overviews, AI mode, Gemini, and YouTube, and that's all just in Google. And then you layer on ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude and other AI platforms, and you start to see that this game is far more than just ranking blue links. Modern SEO is an extremely challenging discipline discipline because it often requires input from multiple teams: content, technical, PR, video, social, and more. But the businesses that are willing to adapt, test, and roll with the punches are the ones that will win going forward. So what do you think will change in 2026? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you want to stay on the cutting edge of SEO and AI search, apply for Rankability Academy. Thank you so much for watching.